part of that trust of just resting and being is that all of our suffering is calling for compassion. In other words, there's some pains in my body here and there. And I had a ceremony for my dog that died a year ago on Friday, on the day that it was a year. And I felt the pain and the sadness, but I felt the compassion and the sharing of our being together too, that was joyful, it was sort of like in calling for compassion, our suffering is reminding us, is calling us back, to, even though it's not really calling us back, it's calling us to recognize the very nature of our being, that is this unconditional acceptance, unconditional love. And it's so patient, in that retreat we had a month ago in Narrow Ridge, I read the poem, "The Earth is Waiting for You." I don't think you can read, for me, I don't think I can read that poem too much. It's probably been at least a few months since I read it here, maybe, I don't remember. But I wasn't planning to read it. But I can.
It always bears repeating, no problem.
It does. I probably know it. Let's see. So the earth is always patient and open-hearted. She's waiting for you. She's been waiting for you for the last trillion lifetimes. She can wait for any length of time. She knows that you will come back to her one day. Fresh and green, she will welcome you just like the first time. Because love never says this is the last time. Because Earth is a loving mother. She will never stop waiting for you. So, the question comes up for all of us. I feel the stillness and the silence of that embrace, of our being right now. And you quoted in the letter, Judith, Nisargadatta, a Zen master who was in the non-dual tradition. And so in this quiet, that we're sharing, you wrote in the letter, his quote, "A quiet mind is all you need. All else will happen rightly once your mind is quiet. As the sun on rising makes the world active, so does self-awareness affect changes in the mind. In the light of calm and steady self-awareness, inner energies wake up and work miracles without any effort on your part." And the questioner says, "You mean to say that the greatest work is done by not working?" And his reply is, "Exactly. Do understand that you are destined for enlightenment. Cooperate with this destiny. Don't go against it. Don't thwart it. Allow it to fulfill itself. All you have to do is give attention to the obstacles created by the foolish mind." So I guess you could say, when we mention that the foolish mind is calling for compassion, if we pay close attention and look deeply at our foolish mind, we can begin from that peace and quiet, we can feel that calling for compassion from the foolish mind. So that we don't really have to seek for it because it's the very nature of the mind. The quiet and stillness is the very nature of being. So there's that phrase, rest and be taken, or rest and know that I am God, that Judith quoted. So we can cultivate that feeling of that we are what we want, and we want what we are, because that silence and that stillness and that compassion is enough. So that feeling drawn, it's like even our suffering, we can feel it as being drawing us into the deepest sense of self. And there's a quote by a famous Tibetan master. He said that when we realize we are that flow of impermanence and that we are dying, being reborn thousands of times, that even our mind and our sensory apparatus is receiving that freedom of the impermanence, is the freedom of everything arising and it just dissolving as that flow of our life force itself. We feel the freedom of that and the peace of that. And so then our whole life becomes an offering of that. I was waiting for the freedom to tell me what to say next. Yeah, the freedom we have is that the freedom of our life, it's the freedom of being, of our life force flowing through our faculties of the thought and perception, seeing and hearing, through our sensory apparatus. That's the freedom we have. It's not the freedom of being a separate self, because like Thay says, we're not. We're made of everything in the whole universe except the separate self. So we can be honest with ourselves and realize that whatever we find that we think is the actual being of our separate self, what is the actual substance of our separate self, we can be honest and say, well, we don't know what that is. It's just another thought, and the thought's gone in an instant. So that knowing that Judith mentioned in the meditation, it's not the conceptual knowing, it's the knowing of just being aware of something, being aware, witnessing or experiencing our experience. So if we know our experience, our seeing, hearing, thinking, feeling, we're aware of that. We know we're aware being, it's obvious. And we're aware of what it's made of. And so that knowing, just that knowing, one little exercise I do with thinking sometimes is notice a thought. You can't grasp it, it's just the activity of thinking, but notice the activity of thinking that's going on right now. And what is the difference between thinking and the knowing of the thinking? So I've asked myself that many times, and I still haven't ever found an answer. There's no difference. You can't separate them. Just like you can't grab a thought out of midair, you can't separate thinking from the knowing of it. And so all there is to thinking is the knowing of it. And because that's true, thinking doesn't have any power to alter the nature of our being. It doesn't have any power to disturb our being. And I know you don't understand what I'm saying. Somebody said to me this morning, I don't understand what you're saying, but I like it. It comes from a good place. And my reply is, I don't understand it either, but I understand that I don't understand it, so it's okay. Anyway, knowing that peace kind of opens the heart of the whole, that the thinking doesn't have that power. Just be open to that possibility. Our thought doesn't have the power to disturb our being unless we give it that power. And in that case, it will appear to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Roger, that happened to my daughter. She did some catastrophizing before she left to come here, and she was afraid to drive here. And it was only because she was giving herself all these catastrophic messages. What if she has an accident? What if there's more than one detour? What if, and so on. And she got here and she went, wow, that was so easy. And when she left, she had a whole different attitude about the drive. She said, well, I'll be coming more, So it doesn't have any power unless we give it that power, our thoughts, especially the negative ones.
Yeah, and we can offer those negative thoughts. Just offer them, give them away, because they're being given away. They're always changing. They don't last long.
Right, nothing does.
Yeah.
Including my life.
Yeah. And they also are calling for compassion, the negative thoughts.
Yeah.
The fear that rises from it is also calling for compassion.
Yeah. What happened to Lee? Do you know?
Maybe his router, he got a new router, but he said it wasn't the best. I'm assuming that's what it was.
Yeah, because we were having a lively conversation before everybody showed up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we lost him. Anybody want to comment on this process? On anything that you noticed during the meditation?
Sandra, you're muted if you wanted to talk.
Sandra, we cannot hear you. Sandra?
Oh, then she muted again. You unmuted for a second, now you're muted again.
Sandra?
Not sure what's going on.
Can you hear now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird because my screen is saying mute, I'm not mute, and I'm mute, I'm mute. Okay, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, first of all, thank you for you all, and Judy, it was amazing meditation. It's like I felt all electricity. It's like from my top to my head to my feet, and keep keep going on in my mind. It's like God is all that is. We are one with God. Be still and know I am God. I am Buddha. So it's like, it's really, I'm very grateful for you letting us know that we had to find a place to lie down. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
The body is amazing. It's amazing. So
Yes.
thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sandra.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a beautiful meditation and a beautiful talk, Roger, too. Yeah, it's just so much to think about, the miracle of the body and the power of the body to heal, to heal us. It's just incredible. I think we had someone in our Zen group who shared that he, was struggling with some health issues and, he was kind of like, remember Roger? I think it was Carl.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like struggling with a lot of different issues and taking all kinds of medications and then he decided that he was just gonna he was just gonna stop. And I can't remember if he was really in bad shape, but I can't remember if he was giving a really bad diagnostic, but I think I remember he said that he actually healed himself when he did that, and this I have been experiencing something similar because I have had several issues and that I was told I needed surgery in my spine, and I can't remember all. And I was told I should have shots, for pain and all these. And instead, I discovered, that through physical therapy, strengthening myself and my muscles that support those areas, the spine and the weak areas, have made it so I can go without pain. And I'm able to be normal. If I was taking medications as I was asked to, I was suggested to do, and all those treatments, or even surgery, I wouldn't have made it, because it was too complicated for anybody to heal, because it's just the body heals itself. So it's if you put all these artificial things, it sort of interferes with that normal healing process.
Mm-hmm.
But in some cases, I know that it's necessary, and it's like you can't really. Everybody's different, in different situations they're different. So, but it's just amazing, what you were talking about, the Tibetan Buddhists, that are able to create heat. They take their clothes off, and when it's really icy cold, and they're able to keep themselves warm. And there's a lot of different things about, or even I remember this book that I was reading, where they can actually run and sort of lift themselves in the air.
Yes.
Yeah.
One moment.
Yeah, and in Peru, I think, in higher altitudes, the body doesn't. The people that have lived there for many years are able to not be able not have to use as much oxygen. They're able to breathe in. Their hearts don't need as much oxygen because of they have adapted to that environment where there's less oxygen. I think it's in areas in like Peru where it's in the mountains, and so the body is able to adapt to so many different situations and conditions, and just really amazing our capability. But I just also like what you talked about peace, being peace and quiet in the mind, and how powerful that is. And I have myself. I mean, for me, I have meditation is really essential for that. If I don't do it I notice the difference. I immediately, it's like I'm restless and I'm not patient, and even my ability to feel compassion sort of like it's not quite the same. It's like I have to center into my being and the light that is what I need to be able to and it's not that it's not there all the time. It's just that awareness that that it's sort of like it's magnified, I guess, right? And yeah, it's amazing. And of course it's the same, when in a sasenka or a situation where you're meditating for long periods of times, that is like it's like so much more than just an hour or whatever. It's like it's just so palpable, and it's so achievable for all of us. So easy because we don't really need any tools or anything. It's all in our hands, and we all have the power to do that, and we all are the same and have the same capabilities to be one with everything, and yeah. So thank you both.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Georgina.
you, Georgina.
That was great.
I identify with what you said about the body's ability to heal itself. I made a mistake about a year ago when I had my hip replaced. I'm very sorry that I did that because I'm still in a lot of pain, a lot. And I think I would have been better off. I know I would have been better off. I have one leg that's shorter than the other now. And
Yeah.
it's really I feel like I've been maimed, and I can't sit on the floor anymore. And I'm working toward that, but I don't know if I'll be able to again. And I feel so much older since I got the surgery. I don't feel as vital as I used to. So everybody said, "Oh, that's going to be a breeze. Just get your hip replaced." Oh boy, okay. We have the technology, and it was not a good thing. Not a good thing.
Yeah.
So I think I would have been much better off allowing the body to do whatever healing it could do on its own. So there you have it.
Yeah. Wow. It's interesting because sometimes Western medicine is very powerful and it's very necessary to, follow the rules or follow the path of using the medication or having a surgery. But other people have been talking to me about my heart condition or that I have. Maybe, and just listening to what you're saying, what Georgina and Judith are saying, it's like, yeah, maybe I should be open to letting it heal, But healing might mean also like might be time to leave the body at some point too, I don't know.
Yeah.
But before I do this open heart surgery, I want to get some realistic probabilities, because if there's severe complications, I'd rather just live happy and healthy like I am now for 2 or 3 years, and then to be saddled with really severe complications just in it.
Yeah.
So maybe I
Yeah.
can live till 90. That's not worth it. So
Did you find out that you have to have open heart surgery?
No. I'm going to see him in about 3 weeks.
Okay.
And just talk, but I don't think I'm close to that. I'm not close to it from their perspective yet. But I want to start broadening my, the fact that Western medicine is so fixated on the separation of body and mind. And a lot of times that's not what we're dealing with. We need a holistic framework to look at the bigger picture, what's really going on.
Yeah.
I am so blessed. I have a primary doctor, then he is holistic. So I had CT from my whole body after what happened with me 2021. I just have bunches and bunches, but he's very analytical and he's amazing. So I do like trauma also therapy, and I do my meditations. And it's like you just said, Roger. A lot of doctors say, yeah, you do surgery. So I go for second, third, fourth opinion. I'm kind of I'm the bad one on because they're like, I have a pulmonologist. It's like, we cannot see you because you went for the second opinion. I said, okay, hasta la vista. I don't want to see you. But you have to be very careful, and it's like it's a balance. It's yin yang, and I have been approved of that because sometimes I trust, I try, I do my own research, but I think we have the power to decide whatever we are going to do. And I'm sorry, Judy, then you have the issue, but yeah, doctors sometimes, if you have a good policy. And I came for a very good company. Then I had thank God, but now my Cobra is running out.
Yeah.
Until then, they want to do all kind of surgery. So you do that. But my primary doctor, then he's amazing and he's a blast. And I'm so grateful. Then my former primary doctor, as soon as I left my shoe, she was afraid of COVID. She didn't even want to see me. But the universe works, in certain way, then we attract what we're looking for. And that I got him, and he is like, so he's just like, when I go to some doctors, he already asked me for the exam. Like I just did kind of some very weird test, and I went to the gastrologist because it's like you said, even when you were doing the meditation about your whole inside body, I could see my whole inside because I had been seeing through all CTs and ultrasound. I just had something my tummy, and then when he asked for, and the doctors love him, it's like I'm a buyer myself, an international supplier. On the I used to buy for international companies, and my doctor is like that. When you talk his name, everybody knows he knows what he's doing. So, but a lot of doctors do just like So I think also we have to take our power. I think I know then Roger, you love the Zen masters. And I was just meditating today on this. I don't know if you know him. His name is Hui Hai. He's a Zen master from Japan. And he said, your treasure house is in yourself. It contains all you need.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sandra. We're just about out of time now, so I do want to check in with Norma before we leave. Hello, Norma.
Hi. I just so enjoyed as much as the meditation as I heard, and it so relaxed me that I actually fell asleep.
Oh, good. Good.
and I enjoyed the whole conversation. I mean, I think it's hopeful and powerful.
Mm.
And I'm very grateful that I heard it. Thank you.
Will you take us out, Norma?
Sure. May the merit of this practice benefit all beings and bring peace.
Thank you all so much.